Hi everyone. Bringing a clean topic from an unclean background. So this is a consultation that recently happened with an entrepreneur. Quite different mindset than most entrepreneurs I have met and most entrepreneurs I've consulted. And this is somebody I really like to enjoy working or connecting with. So this consultation happened around Diwali time, and most of us are busy. And whatever I'm going to speak is with this permission, and whatever I'm going to talk, I'm bringing it from this exact content to the domain where I can just say, and this will help a lot of on other businessmen and entrepreneurs. Whether you're a solopreneur or like a family-run business, this applies equally well. So let's begin. Whenever you're starting a new business or some new company, you obviously will be validating the business idea, the product, and everything. But do you understand this cycle, stability and agility? Most people, like most entrepreneurs, what I see, they make a mistake that they either go too well on the agility. So when I say agility, I mean speed and motion, movement. That's basically what agility is. That's why this thing like fast, fast, fast. The whole race of being the fast, being the best. One thing I want to tell you, and there's another extreme that doesn't usually happen with entrepreneurs or businessmen. It happens with very old legacy businesses, very old legacy that will be almost working in a stable manner. Now, with the will of providence, or let's say some kickbacks from the industry, those legacy oriented mindsets are realizing that they might not sustain unless they move. And everybody, like mostly people learn from experiences of other companies like Nokia and Kotak and all those videos you have seen so far. What I want to say is every industry has an agility stability cycle, and some points you would be going through growth, and at some points it is very important to go to stability. Now that might also mean there would be a downturn, slight of it. So can you first of all give away the expectation of too heavy growth? Now, this is a drawback. I'm not saying this is not manageable, this is a solvable problem, and I'm not discouraging anybody to do the same, but this is a drawback. A lot of funded startups doesn't mean that bootstrap startups become correct on their own, but funded startups have this problem that the investor is always behind your with a rocket that okay, I need growth in this percent growth, this percent growth, this percent growth at this much time. This is a quite this is playing out right away also. AI is a game example. AI is because I'm into AI also, and I have been into AI way before ChatGPT came in and became popular. I would say AI is a game that takes years to work. At least it used to. But even today, the product which is acceptable to be paid is very limited. Those product spaces are very limited, and they would take some time to mature off. The expectation that going head on with so much money at the line and the returns coming in so soon, this hyper agility focus, that is not going to manifest. And that is one big problem with impatient investors. Now, this is the first time somebody is going to come out and say if investors themselves are impatient. They're not, they're like, and I'm not saying about every investor, but most are very impatient. And then there's a whole other game also and behind the scenes. But This impatience of expecting, because the game of AI, you need to first have the system learn enough, because self-learning for some reason, right? All these models are very good, bidirectional transformers, SSMs, and all these things, but they need time. They need time to build up the knowledge bases. They need time for rectification, even with fast learning approaches. And sustainable products need some time to mature, some simulation environments. The big mistake that happened with all this scenario is you're not giving enough time to get the simulation environment correct. Even if you're just writing wrappers around ChatGPT or let's say GPT-5 or something like that, they still need time to be correct, rectified. So point is that agility and stability come as cycles, and the industries who understand this, they are the ones who are going to survive. Hyper agility is something we should avoid. Even if you let's say consider for example, somebody like let's say this Mr. RK Prasad. This is not a real name. There's nobody no real RK Prasad I'm referring to. This Mr. RK Prasad had actually invest quit his job after earning some substantial amount, say 1 crore, 2 crores, saving up, sacrificing everything. This person decides to start a restaurant, and by that time, the will of the providence. Now, there's a reason I'm calling will of the providence, but yeah, the circumstances align in favor, and this restaurant starts running in good cash flows. Maybe the location, maybe there are a number of vectors, a number of material elements that you can evaluate for this restaurant business to come in. Now, this person starts earning in. He sees this, my brand is coming up, and I'm getting some traction. So point is this, this is just for his personal says the sunrise is just happening, and he says, let me put all in, and let me just hyperscale it to 15 branches. Now it now 15 branches are very hard to manage. There is literally the stress of growing 15 branches. Then what happens is you hire people without discrimination. That okay, this is my manager, now he needs some staff, and then I need a team of 3 4 CAs and all that and all that and all that. And then whole of this then there is no organization. This person has no experience of, let's say, handling 100 people company or 500 people company, unless this person comes from a background which has generationally businesses established. But then why would he have been working in a job for working in a company as an employee for some years? The point is you are at, let's say, this person, the mistake. So what happens is, of these 15 branches, some 3 or 4 would have instances of inventory being stolen or lost or damaged. There would be employee issues for sure in all branches except for the one. Then there will be food inconsistencies. People will be diluting because the stock inventory, because if you're doing it in a smart way, you will be standardizing the stocks and like the taste and all that. You'll be providing food flavors and all that. Where was the time to set up all this in a sustainable manner? So the point is hyper agility is one big problem. No, just imagine, like, I'm going to complete the story. The 3 4 branches and 5 6 branches shut up. Then there is problem with local politicians and 2 branches. They cause a bad, and this whole thing fiasco causes an ill reputation. Google reviews go down and everything, with only one mistake being that you thought your success is perpetual and extrapolatable. Extrapolate everything is not extrapolatable in the way it is. See, once you once you train up a system, I'm not saying perfection, but even let's say the person who bring out okay, you should actually balance this thing between product and approach is Mr. Jeff Bezos. That is very popular sentiment. Some who brought it out actually was very different. But even then, he says ki I'm good enough with 70 to 80% quality. What the problem with people is they're moving in with 10% quality and expecting 90% returns within few months. That's not going to happen. Now 90% returns in terms of quality, like that approach and everything, that's not going to happen in a few months. It's not going to happen in a few years. So like while you're driving a car, let's say even if you're driving on a highway, there's a point even if you're driving in like you're just starting, like let's say you want to make a trip, you start with your home. You do not start with, let's say you start with first gear and speed of 10. You do not immediately jump at putting the accelerator on 100 directly. You cannot keep pressing that accelerator. Sometimes you'll have to press the brake. Sometimes you have to press the hold the clutch instead of pressing the brake and all that. You would need to do that. It's the same with businesses. So assess the situation. One metric, and retrospective metrics are very abstract. It's not easy to give it out. So one thing that can benefit Indians businesses or anywhere. I'm not just for this is not like a political channel. So this is a logical channel. Not that politicals are not logical, but yes, very important metric that you can look at abstract level, which will benefit you, is the stress to reward ratio, or not just stress to, let's say, tenacity to award ratio. There's no metric like that. It's an abstract thing. You need to understand that at what limits, if I'm pushing, the results stop. That that minus 4 to 5%, that plus minus 4 to 5% is your limit. Now it is an abstract concept. You need to feel it, and then feel, you need to actually be able to digest this, that if I'm operating at certain level, then, and if I want to rise up to this level, my effort required would be this much. And sometimes even if I put this much effort, the results are not coming up or negative results are coming up. Law of diminishing returns. So that point you need to understand, and also you need to be vigilant, of course. Where is your industry heading? Is the industry itself sunset? What are the local problems? Obviously you need to be aware about the other product, other variables around, but try to make sure. And somewhere now, after some time, the beauty of this environment is that the world is that it keeps on changing. Normally it changes for worse only, but it keeps on changing. Somewhere some variable will change up, something will change up. Maybe the environment itself, something will change up, and that's when you will see the direction. Maybe the most logical sense at that point is, after a few years this business is invalid, let's use this as a cash cow and start something else. Beautifully demonstrated by Mr. Mukesh Ambani and the new generation Akash Ambani ji, and beautifully demonstrated business concept. It's a practically, and this applies for solopreneurs. This advice applies for everybody, even individuals, even in your job, everywhere. So keep this concept: agility, ability, cycle. Do share this concept. Do share this video with anybody, at least 3 to 5 people. Just tell them, have some intellectual ability. Like if you disagree, and if you have some very logical basis, other than hating my face or my accent for some time, if you have something logical, please write it in the comments. Even if you don't like my face, that also you can write, not an issue. If you like my smile, then also please. Sure. Stay happy. Try to be reasonable. That's important.